when war breaks out, then in accordance with Article 18 of the Basic Law, they can formally, they can openly and overtly carry out one country, one system here. And probably everybody will end up in a concentration camp, including expatriates in Hong Kong.
This is Christian Gomez with the New American Magazine, and today we have with us again Chapman Chen, a national from Hong Kong who has now recently moved to the United Kingdom. Chapman, thank you for being with us again today.
Thank you for having me, Christian.
Now, for those that aren't really familiar with what's been happening in Hong Kong over the last, 2 years now, can you just give a quick little summary about what has happened in Hong Kong and what has led you to leave Hong Kong to now be in the UK?
Since the Hong Kong Time Revolution, or the Hong Kong Anti-Extradition law movement that broke out last June in Hong Kong, more than 10,000 Hong Kong dissidents have been tortured and arrested and prosecuted, some of them prosecuted. And also, now, among those 10,000 arrested people, more than 30% of them are children. That is, people under 18, and nearly 20,000 poisonous tear canisters have been fired by the police. And also this year, a Hong Kong national security law was passed in Hong Kong, by China, so that anyone who said anything about Hong Kong independence or even just speak against the CCP may be arrested under the national security law and may be sent to China for trial. And the highest sentence is death. Or life sentence.
So essentially, Hong Kong, which was a sort of a British protectorate until 1997, then had a special relationship with the Communist Chinese after that, where the Communist Chinese promised that Hong Kong would retain some of its autonomy and sovereignty. Now, this past year, with the national security law, the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, has essentially absorbed and assimilated Hong Kong into their communist collective, would you say?
Exactly. That is why on the 23rd of this month, the UK Commission Geneva, together with Canadian representative, spoke out at the UN in Geneva. They accused China of having seriously violated the Sino-British Joint Declaration. So and also the UK government has recently offered all British national overseas passport holders in Hong Kong the chance to migrate to the UK with 3 generations. That is, with their children and also even their grandchildren.
So is that how you were able to escape Hong Kong to the UK through the British national passports?
Yes, I'm a BNO holder. I was born in colonial Hong Kong, and so that also shows how grave or how dangerous the situation of Hong Kong is in. And
what do you think is going to happen next? How much worse is this situation going to get in Hong Kong? What's Communist China's next move, in your opinion?
Well, in my opinion, World War III is imminent. The battlefield will either be Hong Kong or Taiwan or North Korea or the South China Sea. In either way, as soon as war breaks out.
That? Why do you say that a war is imminent in that region?
Well, you see that the UK government is now unusually generous towards British national overseas passport holders in Hong Kong, and 16 British MPs have recently urged the Foreign Minister of the UK to grant consulate protection to BNO holders in Hong Kong. So that means they may give BNO holders in the near future, they may give BNO holders real British citizenship. And this might further agitate or irritate the CCP to carry out a genocide in Hong Kong. And as soon as war breaks out, or in either Taiwan or in the South China Sea, of course, the US will intervene. And then, of course, the PLA, the People's Liberation Army, won't be able to beat it, the US Army, the US military. So they can only vent their temper on Hong Kong people, because they regard Hong Kong people as traitors, paid off by the US and the UK. So, well, we cannot underestimate the psychological perversity or perverseness of Xi Jinping. I think, or many people think, he is deeply sick. He is mentally ill, and he's a psychotic, in a word. So he may be, probably he's crazier than Hitler and then Stalin. So, but he has an immense power. He has immense power in his hands. So it's likely that such a crazy guy will cause the World War III, and he hates Hong Kong people, and he will probably put everybody in Hong Kong in a concentration camp as soon as war breaks out. And also, according to Article 18 of the Hong Kong Basic Law, in case of a war situation, China is entitled to impose national China laws on Hong Kong. So, of course, it is now implicitly or covertly one country, one system in Hong Kong, but they still tell everybody that it is one country, two systems. But when war breaks out, then in accordance with Article 18 of the Basic Law, they can openly and overtly carry out one country, one system here. And probably everybody will end up in a concentration camp, including expatriates in Hong Kong.
So you think China will precipitate a war and then use it as an excuse to further bring Hong Kong fully under the communist system? When Xi Jinping came to power in China, of course, he came to power with the support of the Chinese Communist Party, with the promise that he would bring Taiwan into the fold of the communist dictatorship. Now, on Friday, it was reported that the Taiwanese government has said that there have been 46 incidents of Chinese planes, of Chinese People's Liberation Army Air Force planes entering or approaching near Taiwan's airspace. What are your thoughts on the situation of China entering Taiwanese airspace and a potential war breaking out there, especially since the president of Taiwan has welcomed the people of Hong Kong to come to Taiwan?
Exactly. In the last few days, the war planes of the PLA regularly cross the middle line of the Taiwan Strait. And this is very dangerous. They are just, I think those planes are just 1 to 2 minutes away from the presidential office building of Taipei. That is from the building where President Tsai Ing-wen is working. So this is very dangerous. President Tsai Ing-wen has made it clear that Taiwan may be forced to fire the first shot at the PLA planes, because otherwise it will be too late. They will just throw bombs in Taipei. And of course we are aware that recently the Undersecretary of the Department of State of the U.S. visited Taiwan and had a good talk okay, with President Tsai Ing-wen and a major Taiwanese businessman, Zhang Zhongmo, the boss of Taijidian, the semiconductor giant in Taiwan, and so and also Taiwan's representative in the USA, who's called Xiao Meiqing, or B. Kim Xiao, Madam Xiao, recently upgraded her own title on her Twitter account from Taiwan representative to Taiwan ambassador to the USA, and the Department of State of the US has raised no objection so far.
That's huge, because back in the 1970s, after President Nixon visited mainland China and, sort of mingled with Mao Zedong, and then Jimmy Carter became president, the U.S. officially recognized Communist China as the legitimate government in the mainland and stopped giving diplomatic recognition to the Republic of China government on Taiwan. Now the Taiwanese government, you're saying, their representative to the U.S., they've designated a full-fledged ambassador, and the U.S. isn't objecting. Do you think that the U.S. is about to recognize Taiwan as a sovereign, independent nation?
Probably very soon, in my opinion. And also, Taiwan's representative in New York recently met with or had lunch with the U.S. ambassador to the UN. They met in New York and had lunch openly. So that's also unusual.
So for those watching out there, what message would you give to the American people that may not be aware of what's fully going on with Taiwan and Hong Kong? How could the American people support or express their support for those who believe in freedom against communism?
Well, we are also grateful to Senator Tom Cotton for having recently proposing the Hong Kong Refugee Protection Act, which will enable more than 55,000 Hong Kong dissidents to move to the U.S. We are grateful to Senator Cotton. But that, again, this also shows that Hong Kong is in a real grave situation, and also we wish the U.S. consulate in Hong Kong and also the UK and other Western consulates in Hong Kong would conduct an operation of Yellow Bird. Operation Yellow Bird.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that's an operation which was done during the Tiananmen Square massacre to rescue dissidents in China, to resident and many democratic movement dissidents in those years in China were rescued by this plan, by this program. They escaped to Hong Kong, and then Western countries transport them, and they were transported to Western countries for asylum, for political asylum. So we now Hong Kongers, in those days, Hong Kongers had many mainland China dissidents to escape to the West. Now Hong Kongers themselves need this kind of operation, Operation Yellow Bird. So we plead with the Western consulates in Hong Kong to urgently rescue Hong Kong dissidents, especially those frontline fighters. Some of them are famous, but most of them are nameless, and they are in grave danger. Many of them cannot leave Hong Kong, even though some of them have not yet been arrested, but they are not allowed to leave the Hong Kong territory. So they are in great danger, in great jeopardy.
Thank you so much, Chapman. Chen, of course, we wish you the best, and of course, the best of luck to all of the Hong Kong dissidents currently under the boot of the Communist Chinese. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you the best. Take care, and God bless.